Check, check. There we go. There it is.
Cock-a-doodle, hold the gates! Steel boots on the straw today! Down at Ironmark farm, the storm came on. The guns so wide, he sharpened the beak on a butter knife. Green teeth at the gate, mud on every log. But Hetty at the porch rail with a broom and iron pan said, if you want my yard, boys, come take it if you can. Her son had a splitting maul, her daughter had a poem. The goblins came in snarling for the hens and beetroot row. They leapt up through the nettles, they clambered at the stairs. But Hetty raised her lantern and laughed right in their ears. Then the young girls in the house started singing clear and high through the shuttered window panes like sparks against the sky. Hold fast, the whole old beams replied, and every goblin footstep lost its nerve outside. For the mark, drive them from the yard. For the mark, strike them hard, strike hard. Hetty on the porch and the children at her side. For the mark, let the cowards run and hide. The first one slipped on turnip peel, the second caught the rake, the third met son and daughter and learned what iron makes. They tumbled through the mud bank like sacks in a threshing round, and the girls inside kept singing till even the rafters rang out proud. And the young girls in the house started singing clear and high through the shuttered window panes like sparks against the sky. Hold fast, the whole old beams replied, and every goblin footstep lost its nerve outside. For the mark, drive them from the yard. For the mark, strike them hard, strike hard. Hetty on the porch and the children at her side. For the mark, let the cowards run and hide. By dawn the lane was empty, the crows went back to sleep. The broken pots lay shining where the goblin boots did creep. Then the teenage girl took saddle with her hair still pinned in braids and rode hard to the village green through morning's cold gray haze. To arms, for the mark, to arms, strike them hard, Hetty on the porch and the children at her side. To arms, for the mark shouted wide.
When June unfastens the green hill gate, we run to the bramble and laugh too late. Blue hands stained by the sweetest stain, bare feet dashing through warm rain. We fill our pails by the hedgerow seam, red beets shining like a harvest dream. Mother calls from the linen line, come home before dusk time. But the creek says wait, and the reeds lean near. Every small brown face turns bright with cheer. Summer, summer, berry bowl. Summer, summer, take us whole. Berries on our fingertips. Berry bowl, joy with every sugar kiss. Summer, summer. Down by the water the minnows flash. We plunge our heels and we make a splash. Little ones chasing the silver pool, old nets waiting by the mossy pool. My brother casts from the alder root, thin line singing for a shy fish shoot. Then we hide where the willow bends, count to 10 and be found again. Shh, the creek runs clear and the sun runs long. Even little hearts can grow so strong. Summer, summer, berry bowl. Summer, summer, take us whole. Berries on our fingertips. Berry bowl, joy with every sugar kiss. Summer, summer. Are set in the common room, and the night leans in with the honeyed bloom. 2 old cups and a shared small smile can turn one glance into a while. By the firefly path, hand in hand, a baker's daughter and a fisher's man. They speak so soft, they speak so near, like the dark itself might bend to hear. Hush now, listen close to the night leaf song. Even grown hearts wander where the bright days belong. A thumb brushes lace, a sleeve finds a sleeve, and the whole room knows what the warm dusk leaves. Summer, summer, berry bowl. Summer, summer, take us whole. Berries on our fingertips. Berry bowl, joy with every sugar kiss. Summer, summer, creek song blue. Summer, summer, me and you. Hide and seek till stars appear. Hide and seek. Then love walks home through firefly dear. Summer, summer.
How about now? There we go. I gotta say, I love the music that I designed with the AIs for this setting. Okay, so welcome to the founding of Ironmark again. I am your host, Walt Bloodthorn. Once again, no real bona fides, you're not gonna find that I have PhD in history and all that shit, or 9,000 years of gaming and everything. Well, no, I've been gaming since '83. I took some classes at college, but I never really graduated. So anyway, but that's enough. All right. So what we are talking about today? Last time we talked about create. Oh, good, you can hear me. Thank you, William, for letting me know. I was worried. What we're working on today is the dwarves. Last time we worked a little bit on the beast races. Now Ironmark, as we have made it so far, is right here. Oh, let me skip back over there. Ironmark is right here. Okay, it's actually a big country. Problem is they're being pushed on by other countries. I was thinking of adding countries over here and over here, Now, but that's not what we're doing today. What we're doing today is we're working on the people that would live out here. And that would be the dwarves. We'll get to the elves later. We get to them elves later there. So first of all, I'm gonna bring up a blank page so I can do a little working, and I'm gonna hit up and one of these was there we go. I don't want to bring this up, mainly because it's something that we need to look at. Dwarf mountain. Okay, so I said last week we were gonna have two kinds of dwarves: hill dwarves and mountain dwarves. Hill dwarves are taller. Hill dwarves are taller and have the same endurance and everything. They don't quite have the poison gas and heavy metal concentration resistance that dwarves have. I was thinking about it. Heavy metal concentration affects your eyes. Dwarves have. Oh yeah, I still trying to learn online RPG. Well, I'll tell you what. Roll20 is the way to go. Roll20. If you get a good group, you can meet every week. Our Rift group hasn't met 2 weeks because of, holy shit, it's been a thing. Not that, people weren't prepared, but life gets in the way. But, anyway, so, like I was saying, we've got dwarf, mountain. So, we're going to split our dwarves in two. And the funny thing is, we're going to make the mountain dwarves, we're actually going to make the mountain dwarves deep dwarves. Because why not? Because that sounds funny. Okay, let's see. Brave is like, oh, do you want to open a porn tab? No, I don't want to open a porn tab. What the hell's wrong with you? That's the funny thing. I don't fucking want to look at porn. I should start looking at porn again. Porn's fun. Let's see here. I like the goofy stuff. Anyway, yeah. I like the old goofy porn when like the clown shows up. Let's see. Restore pages. Yeah, I want to restore pages first, yeah. Races. Here we go. Okay. So the PFSRD. Okay, don't tell me this again. Core classes, base classes, races. Okay. Now what we're looking for is other races. We might be able to find something in dwarves. Stone Lord, Forge Masters are different dwarves. But what I want to find is the dwarf Duragar. Here we go. Duragar. You could always go differently, and your Duragar is your Duragar worked the big forge halls like Iron Forge in or I think that's the name, Iron Hold or whatever the fuck the name of it is in WoW. I'm gonna say the dwarven massive hold in WoW, Iron Forge I think it's called, is actually good design. I also like the dwarven areas that are between Nomarang and the dwarven area. Yes, I did like. I liked. WoW. Total late. But we we can add a form of Duragar, which would be funny. They still consider some of the only true dwarves because what we can look at. Did I just make it where you can't see that? Oh my god, I did. Hang on, guys. That's that. There we go. Okay. I cut down that a little bit. Okay, so we have the Duragar, and we can do a little bit of modification to them. But, basically, we can use those for the mountain dwarves because the big thing is what we're going to have is we're going to have our dwarves coming from hills and moving into mountains later. I already said that we're going to make for this Ironmark world. We're going to, believe it or not, we're going to get to the point where we'll have downloadable PDFs on everything. I'm going to work it to the point, I decided last night, talking that I'm going to build this thing until you can download it and use it. So that means while I'm doing these crappy maps right here, eventually my crappy maps will be turned over to a better map maker, and we will do it in PDFs. I decided partly to, leave behind a little bit of legacy stuff, because, we're in end of life here. Now, one thing you'll notice is, one of Ironmark has serious tectonic upheaval recently. Now, right here, along this line of volcanoes, and remember, these volcanoes aren't as close as they look. 500 miles, 2,000 miles, 250 miles, 1,000 miles, 1,000 miles, 1,500, 1,000, 750, 750 to 1,000. They're actually really far apart. So, but we are gonna, because this, where the inland sea sits is actually where the continental plates have buckled, and they buckled in such a way that both continental plates are going down. Now it's rare, but it happens. It's what causes your huge suboceanic trenches. It's what helped form stuff like the Marianas Trench, 5 miles deep. And this is important. Geology is important right now. Now, with geology, you have different kinds of rock. If you look or ask AI, if you already look on Wikipedia, there's a ton of different rock, and they're all formed in different things. The ones you need to remember, your primary ones that you should always remember when you are making a setting. Basalt. Basalt is good. Okay, I don't think you can see it right now. No, you can't. So, we're going to shrink it a little. There we go. We're going to put it over here. And I'm going to move this over here so you can see it. Now, but first, we're going to go, mighty image search. Different kinds of common stone green images. Alright. As you can see, you have, holy shit, man. Okay, see, oh shit. See this gemstone list? Always grab this gemstone list when you find it. As a matter of fact, we're going to upload it because this gemstone list is like, I'm the Duke of New York shit. It is, it's nice to find that again. I haven't seen that in a while. But, and there are other versions out there. And you get it for a quick bump. And you can decide what's more valuable in your world. Look at these purple gems. Even diamonds can be purple. This is real life stuff. And we'll say you've got a nice purple. Oh, it's underneath something. Nice, dumbass. There we go. Let's bring it out. Hey, ya. But, yeah. They're out there. But, think about how valuable a purple diamond would be. It's funny because brown diamonds were worth absolutely almost nothing back in the 80s and 90s. And in the early to mid 2000s, chocolate diamonds. And it's like, fucking really? But the other thing you should learn is cuts, gem cuts. But What we want is a list of type of just average stone. Here's a little bit. Oh, here we go. Here's some nice stuff. Glacial, banded iron, shale, anthracite. Anthracite is coal. We're gonna get to coal and the different kind of coal later. Don't worry about that. Slate, marble, you know those. But you just need to know your basic rocks. Basalt, granite, obsidian. You know these and you're good. So, going back to here, we got basalt, granite, limestone, sandstone. Now, let's grab a couple other types. Let's see here. Pumice, chalk, shale. Is that my baby? Pumice. I love you too. Chalk, shale. Well, that'd be more fun. Asbestos. Salt. Anyway, but this is your big stuff. Basalt, granite, limestone. And they're big for a reason. Make it a little bit bigger so you can read a little better. There you go. Now, once you know these, you're good and know how they form. Pumice is lava that's full of air. It's full of air bubbles, usually formed by hot lava hitting water. Limestone, I don't know how these form. Look it up. But limestone is important to any civilization. The ancients realized it really quick, about 3000 BC. Limestone is really good for the acidic nature of limestone is really good for keeping water clean. You will find limestone a lot of times with an algae on it. You scrape that shit off and it goes right back to clean the water. Granite, of course, excellent material, but difficult as fuck to quarry. Now remember, early on, these guys will be quarrying by drilling holes and hammering long copper rods in there and using it to fracture. And so you've got basalt, granite, limestone, sandstone. Sandstone is actually used in building early on because, number one, it was easy to break, and it was very easy to mortar. Your early rock and stone, but your early stuff is going to be a lot of limestone, sandstone, shale, the softer stones. Adobe is going to be huge in your early works. But there's a reason why we're talking about this, because we're getting back to the dwarves. Now, you can go the route that Clangan and God of the Dwarves formed the dwarves and drop them into the mountains, and with an innate nature of knowing how to cut rock, knowing how to dig in there, knowing how to do vents. Look up actual mining sometime. I've never mined, but I had a roommate. When I was in the Army, I had a roommate for about 3 months, and the dude was from Pennsylvania, and he got pneumonia over the winter. He got pneumonia in his ass, and it kicked something in, and he had this nasty wet cough. He started coughing up black shit, and they medicaled him out because he worked in the mines. But he used to tell me that you have to bleed the gas lines so you don't get explosions. You got to pump oxygen down in there. You got to have venting. You got to got cross-cut shafts. I mean, he went into this shit, and I never knew all this shit. And remember, they used to go down there with a candle on a helmet. Fuck that. But anyway, so you would be saying that early dwarves, when everybody else is wandering around with a sharp stick and not even furs, fucking plants, big leaves or some shit. The dwarves have number one, the tools to cut mountain face. Mountain face is, what survived the wind and the rain and everything else. Your softer rocks are going to be down here at the bottom. uh, of the mountain. As you go further up the mountain, the harder stones are closer and closer to the surface. When you look at the mountain, you'll notice you've got trees up until a certain distance, and then bam, it's just fucking rock with nothing able to gain purchase. That's because no dirt ever formed up there. Or, when those things raised up, because mountains are formed in a D&D setting by one of three things. Actually, one of two things. Tectonic activity or the gods. Tectonic activity, mountains form when one buckles and lifts up over the other one, and the other one is pushed down, or they both buckle upwards. Here, in our Ironmark setting, right here, you can see where these two the continental plate is broken. Ironmark and its friends sit on a broken chunk of the continental plate that broke off, so it's actually a little higher. And over here is slightly tilted, which is why you have mountains. This is where the other... So you've got a chunk of broken plate. But you've got where the mountains are on either side because the plates are pushing together and are forcing down in the middle, but that pushed the plates up to either side. Now, this is where your metals and gems are formed. Gems are forged in the heat of the mantle and the magma and are locked in stone. Interesting thing, diamonds used to be rare because they were found at random. They were found at random due to volcanic explosion. But when we figured out, I'll tell you what happened with the diamond market. When we figured out that diamonds were found where extinct volcanoes used to be, that's when the mining started. That is why diamonds actually are worthless. In the 80s and 90s, it was revealed that De Beers had vaults of diamonds, and at one point they were pouring diamonds straight into the fucking ocean because they figured out how to strip mine diamonds by the fucking truckload, by the dump truckload. And there's so many diamonds that they take them out with bare hands. No, this is not a good thing. But anyway, that's volcanic activity. So this means that this section, you see volcanoes from where it's busted. There should have been like 2 or 3 more volcanoes right here, but I didn't do them. But anyway, this mountain central line should have had more volcanoes because all this shit is active. What formed this is not long ago. Probably 10,000 years ago with geology. According to geology, that is nothing. That's like when I said nothing ago. Anyway, now, one thing that's always bugged me since I was in junior high and I learned a little bit about geology in science class is dwarf holds have mithril and copper and iron and gems and metals and all this stuff. That's not how actual metal distribution works. Metal and gem distribution is quite different. You can either ask an AI to give you an education, or you can do it yourself on Wikipedia. We'll go over a little bit now. Believe it or not, there is one place in the world where copper and tin are found together naturally. And the funny thing is where the copper and tin meld is where the bronze is. And that's in the UK. The UK had copper and tin mines where the copper was found fused to the fucking tin and vice versa, are found in chunks less than a handspan away. So you can have it. But on the entire planet, it's in one place. Now, I don't know if everybody here knows what the ingredients to steel are, but I will happily tell you. I used to have this. Absolutely memorized. Steel is primarily iron and carbon. you get iron to a very high temperature, and you start pounding carbon into it. The more carbon you put in it, the more hardness and strength, but also includes its brittleness and reduces its ability to weld it to other materials. So it's a fine balance. Now, you can add manganese, chromium, nickel, vanadium, titanium, boron, tungsten, molybdenum, and other stuff. In a fantasy thing, you can add mithril, adamantium, ethereum, arcanium. Steel is fucking amazing. The undesirable stuff, you don't want phosphor. You don't want phosphorus or sulfur in it. The nice thing is you can often pound out silicon and aluminum, and that's actually where you can get small amounts of aluminum. Until we figure out how to electroplate it out, aluminum was one of the most valuable metals in the world. The top of the Washington Monument was capped with an obscene amount at the time of aluminum. It was worth tens of thousands of dollars. Aluminum. You have to use electricity. Aluminum plants extracting aluminum from raw material. I want to say it's bauxite. I don't remember anymore. They are the primary electrical users on most grids. Germany, back when they had factories, and France had aluminum extraction facilities, and they used up to 30% of those countries' electricity. But now, if you want stainless steel, that's chromium and nickel. Let's ask how long stainless steel's been around. It's actually been a long time. It's been around longer than people think. Oh wow, only 100 years ago, early 20th century. But because you have to add 12.8% chromium to molten iron. But you could actually make stainless steel, silvered steel. You can give that 20 erases and really switch stuff up. Carbon steel, just adding more carbon. But it is forging different. I went to a metal shop in high school. I got into blacksmithing, kind of muscular. And I enjoyed smithing. I liked it. If I had joined the army, I'd like to think I would have been a blacksmith. Carbon steel has been around since 1800 BC. Damascus steel, stuff like that. I mean, look into it. There are different types of bronze, but so you've got iron and you've got carbon, and you can make steel. So yeah, as long as they got iron and carbon in that dwarf, they can make steel. Now, but the more interesting thing to do is, let's just say that we've got our dwarf holds, and we'll say one here. Oh, let's make that a little bit smaller. One here. One here. Make that a little bit smaller. One here. One here. Put some in the hills. Now each of these are a clan. Clans have to be careful to avoid inbreeding. So either we say that dwarves are immune to inbreeding, or we say what comes naturally in a second. And these halls would all trade with each other. This one has tin. This one has manganese and chromium. This one has iron. These guys have iron. These guys have copper. These guys have manganese. These guys have coal. Now, the other thing is coal. Coal comes in several different forms. The best is anthracite. It's hard, it's brittle, it looks like glass. It's extremely clean burning. That's not what they had in England. I think they had bauxite, which is absolute fucking garbage because it's high in sulfur. But our dwarves would want the sulfur. sulfur is incredibly useful. So, there's a lot of different things to consider. So, our dwarves in the mountains, we start adding our magical metals. Ethereum, astrolite, I made those up. Arcanium, I made these up a long time ago. I always make up some magical metals that are somewhat easier to find. Yes, there could be a dwarf out there with the Habsburg chin, Dwarven King. That could be you. I want you to picture, the adventurers are exploring a lost dwarf hold, which the living area wouldn't be that long, and they start noticing that some of the statues of the kings start looking like the Habsburg kin. And oh yes, yeah, the Great Lakes with a lonely mountain and a lake town. Yeah, that's actually a huge amount of territory, and there are plenty of islands out there in the Great Lakes. A lot more than people think. But yeah, can you imagine you find out that the whole reason that dwarf hold is gone is not goblins, not a dragon. It's because they couldn't stop bucking their cousins. And so we've got, and that could be, the breeding thing could be why our mountain dwarves are different. First thing is, give them blue eyes. The whites of their eyes make it blue from heavy metal. With blue, double check if that's true. Okay. Does heavy metal give you blue sclera? Yes. Yep. Silver. Gold. Gold gives you blue-gray. Then it gives you a slightly weird look. Also affects their skin, so gray dwarves. So we've got our dwarves, and let's see. Why don't we tell them one of these things to give us a picture? Alright, I'm going to tell it to give us a picture. So we've got our dwarves, and what the fuck? Why does it keep resetting? Alright, we'll use it. Let's see. A picture of a dwarf with a long beard. The whites of the eyes are pale blue and the skin is grayish blue. The beard is dull brown and braided. Alright. He is holding a pickaxe, wearing a helmet with a candle on it. Now, for those of you that played WoW, you'll remember the kobolds in your Cornshire. They had those hats. They had the helmets with the candle burning in the front. That's actually more real to life than people think. Oh my god, that is fucking terrible. I'm never going to use this model again. Why are these models so shitty nowadays? They used to be good. I mean, for a while, you got some fucking gorgeous breasts, but now you get jackets. Now, most of them will give you breasts, and the rest of them are absolute crap. There we go. This guy, I'm going to show him to you. He looks a lot different than what we've been seeing for dwarves. And see, it's not only for yourself that you're adding in stuff. It's also for your players. I mean, players like new and unusual. And let's face it, we've been doing this for a while. So, having the dwarves be slightly different. Especially if it feels logical. Yeah. Yep. Now, if you really want to have some fun, do like I did one time. And dwarves were hermaphrodites. Now check that dude out. That is not your average dwarf. Number one, he's immediately striking. Number two, damn dude, lay off of the silver, colloidal silver. It's like this dude. You tell your players, yeah, these are dwarves. And suddenly, and for those of you that weren't here, of course you have elves like this. These are the high elves. These are the very low population, live for about 2,000 years elves. These are the elves that live in Mirkwood Forest and put your party to death for trespassing. I mean, and for those of you that weren't here, this is a halfling, where her sclera are the same color as her eye. So we have done enough physical changes already to put this setting on its own. Now, the dwarf holds. We want to have a little bit of advance so we can have them actually have railroad tracks, because it's just mine carts. I mean, those dwarves are something else. The screen is blocking it. Oh, well, shit. Thank you for telling me. I should have checked better. Okay. Well, we nope this out. Now I'll show you guys again. Okay. So number one. Here's a good drawing of a dwarf. Notice the blue in the eyes. The changes to the skin. You know, this dude's got a deformity. This is a worse one. Worse picture. Cartoony, but worse. Again, he's not doing good. And for those of you that weren't here, like I said, this is your high elf who advises you about your magic sword and lives for 2,000 years and never leaves his Elvenheim. And this is the asshole that puts your party to death for intruding on his woods. Both of these are elves. Elves being tall and pretty. Tolkien had the ones in Mirkwood looking like this. He actually approved this design for the 1970s Hobbit. So he agreed with this look. If you remember, the dwarves stumbled from elf ring to elf ring, lost, and every time they get up there, the party, you know, the elves will be having feasts and dancing inside the rings. Every time the dwarves would stumble up there, they'd disappear and leave the dwarves confused. If you haven't read The Hobbit recently, it's a children's book. You should be able to read it within a few days, and you'll find it is much better than you remember. I did this not too long ago, reading it to my grandchildren. So, oh, and then we have where I was showing that a change to the eyes makes halflings a little more non-human. Just enough to change stuff a little. It's not much. Yeah. Mirkwood elves, the hillbillies, the elves confirmed, yeah. And remember, the Mirkwood elves drank so much fucking wine. That is one thing they had right in the Hobbit movie. But they drank so much fucking wine that they had to get rid of the barrels every couple days. I think they were getting their wine from Lake Town. It's, damn it, I need to read it again. I read it a couple of years back to the grandkids and they loved it, but it's been years again, and I've suffered brain damage since then, for those that don't know. Anyway, so the dwarves would have a different design. Now, always I noticed something one time, that the hallways in the barracks back in the day, I don't know about nowadays, because man, they fucked your guys' buildings up. The War on Terror, you guys ended up with shit barracks and buildings. But anyway, I mean, the government should be embarrassed. World War II barracks and Cold War barracks were better than the fucking modern barracks. But anyway, the hallways were wider, and I noticed once, it was so two guys in full fucking gear could pass each other without slamming into each other. So even though, hello Damien, even though the dwarves are, smaller, they're still broad, so they take up about a human space, but their passageways would be easily 10 feet. Because 10 feet wide for your main stuff. Because it's that way two dwarves can pass each other wearing their gear. Now, if you really want to have fun, picture of a dwarf, dwarf miner with a pick axe and a fantasy gas mask rebreather on his face. His skin is exposed on his arms, and his skin is bluish tinted. His beard should be below the mask. Let's see what they give us. We'll try Nano Banana. Having them on gas masks would be kind of funny. Well, yeah, I like this fucking image. How do you guys see it? I love the music I fucking came up with for this setting. It's fucking great. Anyway, we'll get rid of it in just a second. We'll get rid of the lighting in just a second. There you go. Check his ass out. And then we have a dwarf and a gas mask with a rebreather. Rebreather is very simple. A rebreather like this, it would be probably neutralized charcoal, and probably stretched wool puff. Probably off of the underground sheep that the dwarves have. And imagine this guy's an adventurer, with his axe. I mean, axe. I mean, you imagine that dude with a battle axe, And hell, you could even do it where he doesn't like the air too much. This one I don't like as much as I liked the previous one. So, let's see. But, let's try that. But, yeah, this has actually come out pretty good. Exactly the same, except he's packing a battle axe, which is exactly what I wanted. Anyway, so, you can design. We've already changed the way dwarves look. Number one, this guy is memorable, and it's not short human. It's dude with a fucking gas mask. And imagine if he wears this shit on the surface. We could offset shit, his powers, you know. We're going for the Duragar look, but not give him all the powers. I don't like this one as much, although I do like the runic work underneath the skin. That is actually pretty cool. But, so we've already got a different ecosystem for the dwarves already. And they have to trade with each other. And one of the things they're going to trade to avoid inbreeding is blood. Now, you want to have some fun, you go a dwarf female wearing a veil and a long Regency era ball gown with laced up boots and a parasol, standing in a cavern full of gems, and the male dwarves in gas masks. See if we can get it right. It takes some tweaking, but you already make it. And give them fashion. For the love of God. For the love of fucking God. Use fashion on your races. I want you to picture, well, she's supposed to be a dwarf. So, yeah, this isn't working. Wearing a small embroidered dress. But, use clothing. I want you to picture a short elf. Now, elves in 1E were short. There was some tall ones later, but it depends on the setting. We are going to have both long elves, tall elves and short elves, because it does make a difference. Now, the short elves, put them in it's in Japan. It's Lolita fashion. There's another word for it too, but I can never remember it. But, and it's pretty good. Where did I put my dwarves? Come here, dwarvies. But we're getting closer. Found my big-titted player character group. Actually, as a joke, I made a bunch of the tokens have their boobs hanging out over the edge of the token. Short elves in the city. Immediately identifiable. Yeah. Hello, Dead. Yeah, Gothic. You can go with Gothic. I've got some Gothic elven girls here. Oh, here's ship captains. These are gnomish ship captains. I mean, tell me these women aren't rich. I mean, there's rich, and then apparently these women own the color blue. Here's another picture. Elves, again. These are elves. Think of how easy it would be to identify these. It would make the city seem almost dizzying. And here we go. Here are elven girls in fashion. You start doing stuff like this, and the imagery sticks in your players' heads. This is fashion. I will show you a picture of our witch. This is our witch from our 15-point buy game. That is that is actually something she does. She is a she is she does a lot of solo singing of the hymns in the church, and as she's singing, she gets a halo behind her. And think of how much money your adventurers are blowing on a dress like this. I mean, if you could easily say this dress costs 150 gold, and any female at the table is going to be, yeah, it does. I mean, fuck, I'm a dude, and it's like, yep, that looks like 150, easy. Wait, only 150 gold? Was there something wrong with it? Is it made cheaply? You go with fashion. You bring out fashion. We're getting a little far afield here, but you bring out fashion, and you use it, and it makes your world feel more real. The players' brains notice this shit. Okay, check out the Dwarves ladies. Yeah, actually, yeah. Yeah, she can brew up potions for the favor. Yeah, she's something else. She looks like a goddamn nightmare. But Dwarves ladies in town with their bearers. I made these pictures to show that wealth matters. I mean, and plus, you could say some of the dwarven females have beards, some don't. Could be certain clans, certain bloodlines only. I don't know who these are. I don't remember. They're not listed correctly, so. Oh, I think these are just human women. Yes. Geology does change the way fashion looks, especially the jewelry. And according to reading way too many Joanna Lindsay books, jewelry affects dresses, and dresses affect jewelry. We could go with something real quick. You start telling them, okay, in the treasure you found a tiara made of silver and set with fairy cut quartz crystals. No, it wasn't cut by fairy. It's called a fairy cut, and it's worth, for its craftsmanship, it's worth 50 gold pieces. If you bought it from the jewelry shop, you're only going to be able to sell it for a third to half. What are you doing? Stretching your arm? Oh. But, so you start adding, and this gives the dwarves a big thing. No, 10 gold pieces can get you a whole cow. Yeah, 150 gold piece outfit should give a character a non-magical charisma bonus. You're right. Absolutely. If you don't show up in the right outfit to the right place, people are going to know automatically. And you let that shit work. I mean, there was one game, the group found bolts of elven mist silk. And this is stuff that women absolutely love because it feels like cool morning mist against the skin. It's usually used for slips, especially in hot places. And it also absorbs sweat, so she's not. Actually, remember, horses sweat, men perspire, women glisten. But anyway, you would be surprised what you could do if you just crack your brain open a little bit. I'm not saying that you guys have never done this. I'm not saying those of you who have come up later don't think I'm saying you're a retard. It's just, it's so easy with all the modern gaming stuff where, oh, you find a chest and in it is 500 gold pieces and the cod piece of St. Cuthbert. No. Oh, it's always fun to have your female knights with a cod piece. Well, why wouldn't she? She's got to brag about her dick size too. But you open that and you should find stuff that would be in a chest. I mean, oh my God, if you imagine finding a noblewoman's trousseau. For those who don't know what a trousseau is, It is the big ass chest. I mean, we're talking big, absolutely underpants. This trousseau chest you could put folded up quilts in, and that's only one layer. You know, this noblewoman's trousseau would have jewelry and makeup and clothing and baby clothing and jewelry and quilts. Whew. But if you have the noble seal, and if your party, you know, it's one of those parties like I usually end up with, and like, is that noble house still around? Well, yes. I wonder if they want their trousseau back. Favors too. Yeah. If your human fighter isn't dressing like a landsknecht when back in the cities, how are you expecting to get good jobs? Absolutely. You know, you don't go in there wearing fucking burlap, you dumbass. But at the same time, doesn't matter if you're rich as hell, you don't wear your silks and your finery out in the country unless you're on the roads or in the carriage. You know, right clothes for the right job. And the fun thing, I've always found this out. When your players feel like their characters have a house, they will have different clothes. They'll spend their money. I always have such a hard time with my players not spending their money. Now, my players have a problem with money. It's like, oh man, oh crap, these dresses, you know, people playing female characters. Crap, these dresses are last year's fashion, and the fucking ship came in, and it's got a book from the capital of the latest fashions. I'm screwed. I need to borrow money from the rest of the group. And if you're a mage, God forbid you're out of fashion. Especially if you're a sorceress. Now, let's talk about magic for a second. You need to make a decision right off the bat about magic. And there are several things you should consider about it. Magic is a form of energy. So we have that right there. Now, is magic corrosive? And if so, what is it corrosive to? Does magic cause your copper to corrode and bronze to corrode? Which is why you never find ancient artifacts that are magic. Like you don't kick in the tomb of the Lich Donglesmith and find, you know, bronze chainmail. Of course, I had a group did find bronze chainmail. It was +5 bronze chainmail, and the fucking paladin wore it. He's like, "This shit is banger. He just polished this shit up." But is your magic corrosive? Does casting magic cause heat? And if they blow their concentration check and their spell is disrupted, does it hurt them or not? Even if it's just non-lethal damage. You want to change... Okay, and people that complain about changing spells, Dark Sun, Planescape, Ravenloft. Of the three, Ravenloft changed spells the most. My favorite thing is the stick and chest is bras and Under Armour. Under Armour does kind of keep the chainmail bikinis from being chafing. I can guarantee you, if you have a mature group and that group opens up the chest and finds folded in the packaging Gnomish summer silk underwear with satin ties and Gnomish embroidery, and the good embroidery with the good thread, not that cheap shit. And you tell them that a mature group would be all clean, never been worn, still in the packaging. These are worth what, 150, 200 fucking gold a piece? Oh, that's another thing. If you really want to shake shit up, go to the silver economy. Okay? You do this. Armor and weapons cost gold pieces as listed in the book. Everything else but magic, shift down 1. If it's magic, shift it up into platinum. And then add copper bits at the bottom. Think of copper bits as pennies. And then add the Electrum 50-cent piece between the silver and the gold. And add some extra coins, and then and then so you get some really good stuff going on, because then you tell how much is a cow? Cows. Oh, cows. Cattle should also remain in. Well, you shift that down to silver. Or you can still say 10 gold pieces for a full cow. For a farmer, that's a good 3-4 months work. And there is something that a lot of people don't understand. You have to work the Lord's land first. Then when you're done, you can work on your crop. However, his lordship owns the mill, which means he gets anywhere from 1/10 to half per bag. So the problem is this immediately breaks down in Dungeons and Dragons. Actually, now I'm pondering what monstrous animal pets make the most fashionable cloaks. That is a reasonable consideration. Harpies are filthy and nasty, so you can't count them. But think of some of the aerial creatures you've seen. Does anybody remember the Periton? It looks like a deer with wings and a mouthful of sharp teeth, and it casts the shadow of a human, and they attack from above. Imagine the cloak and what the feathers would be like. People look and they're just like, oh, it's the local baron, and they don't look at it. Think of the kind of the economy these women are going to fucking drive. Let's go back to our pictures real quick. Where are they? What, you think these little elvish girls are buying normal shit? Not hardly. Not even. All of these. Don't be afraid to. Oh, there we go. Wait, that's the cat woman. Damn it! I lost the image. Let me find it again. Yeah, this is it. This is one of the beast folk. Look at them. They're buying fucking fine china. You want to see something? Watch a character group trying to get it fine china back. They will buy past fights because they don't want the china to get smashed. But now, this is what drives the economy. The nobility are going to drive your economy. The luxuries are going to drive your economy. Now, a lot of people are like, yeah, peasants were worked half to death, but that was mostly in England, and that was the reason they kept having rebellions. My Pathfinder warlord, for the time he wore the pelt of the saber-toothed tiger he choked out as a cloak, later upgraded to the wings of flight cloak he looted from a vampire lord. Yeah, but the saber-toothed tiger was better. Now we're going to go on break. So we will be back in 5 or 10. When we get back, we'll go back to discussing dwarves and geology.
storm came off the bog. Green teeth at the gate and mud on every log. But Hetty at the porch rail with a broom and iron pan said, if you want my yard, boys, come take it if you can. Her son had a splitting maul, her daughter had a pole. The goblins came in snarling for the hens and beetroot row. They leapt up through the nettles, they clambered at the stairs. But Hetty raised a lantern and laughed right in their ears. Then the young girls in the house started singing clear and high, through the shuttered window panes like sparks against the sky. Hold fast, the whole old beams replied, and every goblin footstep lost its nerve outside. For the mark, drive them from the yard. For the mark, strike them hard, strike hard. Hetty on the porch and the children at her side. For the mark, let the cowards run and hide. The first one slipped on turnip peel, the second caught the rake. The third met son and daughter and learned what iron makes. They tumbled through the mud bank like sacks in a threshing round, and the girls inside kept singing till even the rafters rang out proud. Then the young girls in the house started singing clear and high, through the shuttered window panes like sparks against the sky. Hold fast, the whole old beams replied, and every goblin footstep lost its nerve outside. For the mark, drive them from the yard. For the mark, strike them hard, strike hard. Hetty on the porch and the children at her side. For the mark, let the cowards run and hide. By dawn the lane was empty, the crows went back to sleep. The broken pots lay shining where the goblin boots did creep. Then the teenage girl took saddle with her hair still pinned in braids, and rode hard to the village green through morning's cold gray haze. To arms, for the mark, to arms, strike them hard, Hetty on the porch and the children at her side. To arms, for the mark shouted wide.
Oh my god, I've been talking for 4 or 5 minutes. Anyway, let's get to it. Alright, let's go back to what I was talking about. First of all, dwarven females are going to have one of two problems. Either A, the heavy metal poisoning, which is affecting our boys there in the back, and her, is going to make it so that she will spontaneously abort probably 5 out of 6 children. Or we can do, and this is what I would prefer, have their god go, no, I don't think so, and make the females extremely resistant, which is why her skin is pale and fair. Now, she's being seen by outsiders here. I don't agree. I never like the Tolkien bit with the dwarven female, the dwarves are a dying race. No, fuck that. Dwarves are a dying race is dumb. Great for stories, not good for a campaign setting. Because that means the goblins will win through attrition. It means the dwarves are doomed. That means the kings of the dwarven halls are retards for not moving the dwarvish people into human cities. Now check her out. Now, outsiders are not permitted to look upon her face. So she's like this, and she's got her honor guard. I mean, you tell the players, hey look, you ran into some dwarves. We've got a whole different look here. And that's what you want. I mean, we're not doing it differently for just the sake of being different. We're doing it differently because, hey, maybe the players would like something different for a fucking change. Again, you know, she looks different, but not unreasonable, not too alien. These are still people that you're, you know, that can be non-human, but your players can deal with. Dwarves would be really big on honor. They have to have a high trust society. Dwarves would have a very high trust society. And you'd have clan honor and just plain honor. So, right there we've already got the underground dwarves are different enough that it's comfortable. Now, each of the holds would deal with a different metal. This one's got tin, this one's got copper, this one's got gold, this one's got, yeah, this one's got everything. That would be probably, whichever, if it had everything, if there was a hold that had everything, they would probably be the biggest hold out there. Now, we're talking medieval era, so each hold will only have a couple hundred. Unless you really want to move it up. Now, there is some stuff you can do. I mean, it's kind of funny. When I was DMing way back when, I ran into some drawings that were absolutely fucking fascinating in my medieval history class. I went to a weird, okay, this is going to be hard for some people to believe, but 40, 50 years ago, 40 or 50 years ago, the school system for California, Oregon, and Washington were some of the best in the world. Absolutely the best. What ruined them? The Department of Education. The Department of Education destroyed California, Oregon, and Washington's schools. In California, they provided, well, that and unchecked illegal immigration. Because initially in California, many schools, you didn't have to pay for school lunch. School lunch is just part of it. And the school store, you could go and get a certain amount of pencils, pens, paper every couple days. And it wasn't for pity. It wasn't for low income. It was just, you know, so they could concentrate. I mean, it was good. And I took, as a seventh grader, I took medieval history and, you know, printing and, you know, typing. You know, I took stuff like that. But anyway, I was DMing and I had an underground city. And I had designed it a certain way for a reason. And of course, I get called out by this fucking fat dude who's, yeah, he's a pain in my ass. I was DMing at the time. I was really young DMing because they liked what I was doing. And he calls me out, and he's not even one of our players. And he's like, "Oh, that's unrealistic, blah 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 blah." I opened my textbook and I showed him this shit. I was like, "Really? Unrealistic, huh?" And he stared at it for a minute, and then he went, "Fuck you." Get left. So, you take a look at this. It's in you're going to be able to find it. It's online, all over the place. This is a fairly complex underground city, and people be jacking shit about. This is in the early Bronze Age, late Stone Age, so they can do it. So can our dwarves. Now, yeah, I used to be able to take metal shop with metal. I mean, fuck, the schools were good. I mean, home ec was the fucking shit. People would go, "Oh, I have to take home ec." No, home ec was an elective. I took it before lunch. That way I could cook. Everybody else had to go. Everybody else had to go eat whatever. I brought fucking ingredients. I fucking made my fucking self some lunch. There's nothing like later when I had a girlfriend, she'd make lunch, the home ec, just for me and her, and we sit there and eat it. Damn, time ago. But you can see dwarves working this. Now, your initial mountain dwarves would probably be cave dwellers, but cave systems can be extremely complex. We've all seen it. Fuck that, there's no way you'd get me to go in those things. It'd be like, no, thank you. Like, not a chance. You're not getting me to go in there. But, yeah, so, we have our dwarves. Now, you know, of course, later, so we have our dwarves. Later, we'll worry about their exact thing, but a dwarven... Dwarves aren't human, so, you know, a matriarchy would probably have a larger chance of success than it does among humans. Among humans, matriarchies don't do well. Contrary to popular belief, they don't fall apart due to the men. They fall apart due to women infighting. Female infighting until they're burning the grain storehouses. Yes, thank you. Yeah, life rocked for cartoon back then. Two ancient cities in modern-day Turkey. Back to our map. Oh, wait. Back to our map. Back to our map. These cities could be connected by underground highways. You could even have ruins along the way. Think about this. You got the players being told, okay, yeah, you want to buy tin? You know, you're in the wrong place. Tell you what, take the Iron Tin Highway, and it's about 600 miles. Take you about, well, if you don't want to take a car, and picture the highways, and it's underground, and there are small towns, but especially there are rest stops, underground rest stops, and imagine. You know, these it connects the Dwarf Forge to the human city in WoW. That thing's not unreasonable. Oh, magic. And it would be cool if you had those, because what if the players found a wrecked one from time gone by? I mean, that would be so big, and the underground would be a lot different. It could be 1,000 years old. Maybe it's encased in limestone. I actually got curious about limestone and looked it up, because in the first edition AD&D book, there is a treasure, and I think it's in the first room, where the limestone is coated a treasure. It'll break away, but anyway, but yeah. So now we're going to move to our hill dwarves, and these are our typical dwarves. The thing is they're in the hills for a reason. Hills, you can tell immediately that they got iron. They're red. Iron, gold, tin, copper, silver, all that shit. Hills. And they would probably strip mine and move on. Which means, over the last couple thousand years, these hills are really, really weird in places. In some places, the hills are terraced on one side and not on the other. So, now the dwarves down here are the dwarves everybody thinks of. And they're more of the dwarven society, only the females. Probably a lot more active, a lot more social. One thing, if you study the Old West and you read accounts from back then, one thing you find out is this is what happens. It's very typical. I've read quite a bit of, not just cowboy stuff, but actual, memoirs and shit. But this is what happens. Let's say that, use Ironmark. Say that right out here, there was what do you want to say? Let's say it's a gold strike. Okay? First thing shows up is the miners, and they're all working. And then the guys that show up to sell the tools. Now, once again, you have what I talk about all the time, and that is the profit by distance. Give me the formula for profit over distance and whether or not something is valuable. Now, believe it or not, there was a lot of gold that was completely fucking worthless. There it is. But anyway, it's basically for extraction. For resource extraction. There we go. But anyway, so what you've got basically is you would have, what does it cost to extract it? Now, initially, it's going to be just people, and these guys are going to be mining. A lot of times, a pickled egg was worth like a pinch of fucking gold dust. Imagine that. A pinch of gold dust was like 1/16 or a 1/20 of an ounce. One of the things I was reading from was a teenage girl and her two tough-ass older brothers. One older, one younger, all Irish redheads. That they would pickle pig's feet and pickle pork and pickle eggs and make beef jerky. And they would get molasses candy and the like, and they would drive up there and they would sell it for fucking gold and come back and be good for the whole fucking year. Her brothers and her, of course, got guns. And it's funny because halfway through the book, she's got a scar on her face where an Indian cut her face trying to rob him. And of course, she fucking blew his guts out with a fucking shotgun. But anyway, because it was a battle. What comes first is the roughnecks, the extractors, the wild. We're going to call them the wildcats. Now they show up, and then the guys selling the tools show up. It's a race between who shows up first. The guy selling your basic necessities, or your guy selling booze. Okay, and that'll last for a few years, depending on how far out it is. Now remember, the whole time going back and forth, they're beating down a path. It's eventually going to become a road. And after that, you start getting if this is a big fucking strike or something that a lot of people can work. What comes next is some wildcatters with wives. The unsinkable Molly Brown and her husband were wildcatters, and like she is not in the Titanic movie. She's laughing about how her husband she had came home drunk and started a fire in the potbelly stove, and what he didn't know is she had hidden their money in the potbelly stove. I actually read Molly Brown's biography. It's fascinating. She's a hell of a woman. But anyway, so then you've got your general stores, you got your tavern. There's the old joke about the barrel. I will tell it to you. Guy goes up to the gold mining camp, and after a few weeks, he's like, "Damn, I'm getting a little lonely for a certain kind of companionship." The guy's been there for a while. He goes, "I know it's always the barrel, but once you use the barrel, it's going to be a certain contract with it." He's like, "What do you mean the barrel?" He goes, "That barrel over there, see that big knot? You just go over there and stick your dick in it, and you just fuck. But you can only use it 6 days a week." "Well, why only 6 days? Because on the 7th day, it's your turn." Actually, I found out reading that that wasn't that uncommon. But anyway, the next thing that'll come up is the traveling prostitutes. They'll come up in wagons, but that'll make guys start thinking about guys, and some of these whores end up catching themselves a guy that'll keep them in whiskey and gold. Now, what comes next is the gambling saloons. But then, at the gambling saloons, general store, tools, some women, and then you get the church. Once the church shows up, it's fucking over. Once the church shows up, once the God Talker shows up, most of the wildcatters begin to drift away because it's no longer a place for them. Now, here's where it either lives or dies. The other thing is it won't be uncommon for characters to find an abandoned town because the silver played out. You don't have to say, "Oh, the place was abandoned when the ghoul lord attacked it." No. Silver played out. Now the monsters live there. Most of the buildings are made of adobe or brick. All the wood stuff's going to rot away and be gone. But our hill dwarves, they build quick, so they build out of logs. If it's a good enough strike, they'll be there for a while. But the other thing the hill dwarves cut that the mountains don't is granite, basalt, and slate. And they cut that into blocks, and they sell it to the humans. They don't need it, because as soon as the strike is over, as soon as the good rock is done, they will leave. And there is a difference between good rock and bad rock. A hill can have good rock on one side, and then due to the way the stone emerged, have cracked, shitty rock on the other side. If you want to see a example of mining, it doesn't use much. They had dynamite, but go and look. There's an old first season, or maybe second season, Little House on the Prairie. Yeah, the gamblers left out, the paladin showed up. Party's over. Whores leave too. Whores will do one thing: immediately grab rings. She means bang bus. But that's pretty much the traveling horse. But anyway, so your hill dwarves are ripping into hills now. You want to put lakes there, but there's no reason for them to be there because the glaciers wouldn't have fucking torn that up. Have them anyway. Around a lot of towns, you'll find weird shaped ponds. see it sometimes where the oh, sorry. Yeah, where it has what looks like geometric squares on coming up out of the water for a cliffside with trees on top and everything. That is a quarry. What happens is, and I was a kid when it happened. One place we'd moved to. My dad had gotten a farm. I basically got to live there, took care of some stuff. He fucked it up like you always did. But anyway, they dig deep enough, and they can hit the aquifer. They can hit the underground springs, and that fucker will fill up in hours or days. Now, you have two kinds of quarries. You have the ones where it's going to stay clear, and because there's too much limestone, or you're going to have the cloudy stuff green. But then you get into whether if there's a town nearby, and some fishermen thought, hey, you know what I should do? I should throw some fish in here. And you end up with fish in there, because that's what happened near that place. But so you got your dwarves running around, and they've already cut hills to shit, and they've made quarries out there which have turned into ponds. They're gonna change the whole fucking ecosystem, and they're just out there tearing shit up. So you can't have too many of them. Now, the only problem for them is they're out there where the fucking big ass monsters live. So dwarves are tough, martially inclined, and really into armor, really into smithing, because they gotta build all their shit so that nothing eats them. Now, these ones would be brown skinned, muscular, especially across the shoulders, stumpy legs for good fucking balance. Oh, like I said, Little House on the Prairie. I think it's first season. Pa works at a fucking quarry for an episode or two. You know, want to see him work the quarry. Just don't have dynamite. But the bars still fit. I mean, splitting rock. So, you know, the group can go by a hill. That one side of the hill is just plain rock, but it looks weird because it looks like steps or something. Now, that's because it used to be a quarry. Yeah, there you go. Party doesn't have to stop. The party doesn't have to stop if the bar doubles as a chapel. Well, believe it or not, there's always a god of drinking. Especially. Now, beer, sorry, my throat's starting to go. Beer and alcohol are necessary for civilization. The fermentation process so that we can make beer actually helps civilization hugely. There's some talk about we probably wouldn't have gotten this far without it. But next time we will get into elves. Now, dwarves would probably be comfortable with adobe, maybe stone buildings if it's really a good strike. But the dwarves in the hills, they'll move 5 to 10 times in their lifetime. But remember, they live longer. They live a little longer. You know? They live a little bit longer than everybody else. So we will cover everything. We can have a lot of fun and make the drow albinos. Albinos with big eyes. And let's see. You know what? Freedom, ale, wine, and bravery. See? And you know, you can steal gods like that. I mean, we're going to make our own because, like I said, we're going to try to do it where this whole setting can be put in PDFs and you can use it. So we're going to go to Elf. We'll go with basics. And we'll start with lifespan tomorrow. And we're going to have at least 2 different kinds. And we're going to go into how their brains are different. How the different kinds of brains are different. And how they're wired differently. Drows usually live to the grand old age of somebody shanked them. So there's that. Eventually, we'll get through everybody, and then we'll sit down and really, really fucking start. Really starting on everybody, and we'll build Ironmark, and the kingdoms around it, and eventually the enemy kingdoms, because we're gonna have a lot of fun. We're gonna make the not Celts, the not Aztecs, the not Incans, the not Rome, the not Greece, the not Vikings, the not oh god, I forgot what I was looking for. Greece, Roman. Oh, the not steppes. So we're gonna make those, and the hobgoblins being not Greece is gonna be interesting. So anyway, that was a little shorter than Ben. I hope everybody enjoyed it. But I will see everyone Thursday at the latest. So everybody take it easy.
When June unfastens the green hill gate, we run to the bramble and laugh too late. Blue hands stained by the sweetest stain, bare feet dashing through warm rain. We fill our pails by the hedgerow seam, red beets shining like a harvest stream. Mother calls from the linen line, come home, before dusk time. But the creek says wait, and the reeds lean near. Every small brown face